Earlier, you said that when you were younger, you were more liberal, but as you grew older, you became a bit more conservative. I find this very common among men in every country, not just in US, but even here in India. Even as a man, I can say this about myself too. When I was younger, I was quite liberal, left-leaning. I was a socialist, but as I grew older, I realized as I read more about economics and finance, I realized socialism is not really the best way to go. And I became more conservative, and I also became more libertarian. I thought, okay, you know what, government should not tax us too much. Taxation is almost like a theft. They should let us make our own decisions with our money. Businesses should not have too many regulations, and we should be allowed to run our own businesses in our own way as long as we're not harming someone else. Do you find it interesting that a lot of men and women become more conservative and go away from liberalism as they get older?
I don't find it that surprising because Winston Churchill, he had a famous quote where he said, if you're not a liberal at 25, you have no heart. But if you're not a conservative at 45, you have no brain. And the motivation behind this is quite simple. And I'm not saying that being conservative doesn't have disadvantages, because it does. Even though I lean more conservative, I will admit that it does have some limitations. But it's natural to be liberal when you're younger because you see things the way that they ought to be. But as you get older and you get out into the world, you realize that the world is not going to always bend to what you feel is right, because the world's going to operate however it is, whether you like it or not. And you've just got to deal with it, and you've got to operate within the rules of the matrix. And yes, sometimes through advocacy and technology and inventing and just experimenting, we can bend those rules. But sometimes nature is just nature, and life is just life. No matter how much it hurts me that there are people out there who kill and rape and murder, I can sit back and be sad about that and say, oh, my heart, I feel so deeply for humanity, it's so sad. Or I can say, you know what, this is just a fact of reality, that there are murderers and rapists and thieves. I can sit here and cry about it and demand that someone else fix it, or I can go learn martial arts. I can learn how to use a gun and defend myself and take action. So I believe that conservatives are more about preserving order and being more self-reliant, whereas liberals tend to be more emotionally weaker, and they sort of demand that society sort of fix the problem, and they don't really look at their own sort of inner sphere quite as much. They're more outrospective, whereas conservatives, I feel, are more introspective in many ways.